Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero and welcome back to Crimson Grey. Previously we fell off the roof, then we were saved by our dream girl. In the morning, it all seemed even more unbelievable. John sleepwalked through his routine, half certain that he would find out it all had been a dream. But when he arrived at school, he found Lizzie waiting for him by the school entrance. She looked like she could have been waiting there the entire night. Of course we know she doesn't wait there the entire night, that's crazy. She waits outside your window the entire night. When she saw him, though, her face lit up. John, you're finally here. I've been waiting so long. Oh, I'm sure you have. Good morning. Yes, it's a wonderful morning. I spent so long too nervous to talk to you, afraid that you would hate me, but we had such a nice talk. Now I'm barely nervous at all. But my heart, it still goes crazy every time you get near, John. Isn't it horrible that we have to be in different classes? Lovers shouldn't be separated like this. Please don't murder the entire faculty. Will you eat lunch with me today? Please, won't you? She could sound so adorable. Normally he'd be happy to have a girl like her asking to eat lunch together, but... Sure. On the roof again? No. There might be unkind people there, and you might feel sad again. No. I have the perfect place. Where is it? That's a secret. I'll show you at lunchtime. He really wasn't sure how to feel about that. Never did Manly Badass Hero, the guy controlling his life. But he knew with some confidence that Manly Badass Hero would most likely guide him to the right choices. And by right choices, I mean the bad ones. For once, John had something to look forward to. Or dread. He wasn't sure. The minutes seemed to crawl by until it was finally lunchtime. When he went looking for Lizzie, he discovered that she was waiting behind him, completely silent, watching him. Kinda like Todd Howard, that guy who makes the new Fallout games. Always watching. Demanding you buy Fallout. If you're a Fallout fan, you get this joke. Hi, Lizzie. Let's go. We don't need to go to the cafeteria. This way. She practically dragged him away from his school and onto one of the paths in the nearby forest. Soon they got far enough that they couldn't hear any sounds from the school. Here is perfect. Just perfect. Why did your eyes go dead when we just found a nice clearing in the forest? What did that cause your eyes to go dead for? Lizzie faced away from him, giving a soft little laugh. Then suddenly she whirled around, thrusting something toward him. A lunchbox, also known as a bento box. May or may not be pink. I worked really hard on this. You have to eat it. You have to. Okay. Thanks, Lizzie. She gave a little squeal, hoo-hoo, and promptly sat down on a small rock. It seemed she had a second lunchbox of her own, but she kept it on her lap until he opened his. John was braced for a horror show, but to his surprise, it was just normal food. It actually looked pretty good. Yeah, I see those eyes. Can't fool me. He took a bite, and it tasted good, too. John realized that Lizzie was staring at him intensely, as if her life was on the line. So he smiled at her. Food. Good. Yes, very good. You can drop the facade now. It's really good. Yay. I worked so hard on it. So, do you want to just eat together, or... This is a date, isn't it? We should get to know each other more. I want to know everything about you. Well, I'm nothing special. That's not true. You're a Let's Player and the best one there is. Let me see what to say. Despite himself, John found it easy to talk to her. This isn't so bad. He was sure he would sound like an idiot, rambling about stupid mundane topics, yet she listened to every word with rapt attention. It was bizarre to have someone actually care about his life. His father never had time. His friends were busy with their own things. Miss Smith was just listening professionally, but Lizzie never really cared. He knew that she wasn't well, that her obsession was probably a sickness, yet a pathetic part of him didn't care. Was just happy to have someone paying attention to him. Only after talking for a long time did he realize that he was talking by himself like a self-centered jerk. She didn't seem to mind, but he still felt guilty. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. I can do that sometimes. Oh, don't apologize. I like listening to you talk. Plus the soundtrack to The Lion King is playing now. Our love is as special as The Lion King. Don't you get this, John? Nothing's as special as The Lion King. It's been pretty boring, though. I mean, you already know a lot about me. I want to know everything about you. I've been watching you a long time. I know all the facts. But I still don't know everything. I can't see inside your head till I cut it off. That's where the important parts of John are. But I can't see them. I wish there was a way to, oh god, way to crack your head open. See all the thoughts inside. John swallowed, whoop, uncomfortably. You can always just ask me what I'm thinking. Okay. Okay, you're so nice, John. So, Lizzie, tell me about yourself. Oh, there's nothing to tell. I'm not important. I just want to listen to you more. And you can do that every day if you subscribe to my channel. Yes, but I want to know more about you. Don't you want to tell me? Ah, John is so kind. I don't deserve him. He asks a simple question that they won't ask. He's so kind and unique. So, what about your parents? I live alone now. Neither of my parents want me anyway. I'm sure that's not true. It probably You don't have to make me feel better. I don't mind. You don't mind that your parents... My father never loved me anyway. And my mother's dead now. You didn't murder your mother, did you? Awkward. My parents separated too. They never made it formal. But yeah, they're separated. Mom doesn't like to visit and Dad is always at work. So it's like he's not really there. You mean they just leave you alone? How terrible, Lizzie said after crossing her fingers, knowing that he will be home alone, defenseless, rather. I mix up undefended and defenseless. See how that works? Yandere in the mind. How dare they just leave you like that? Clubs! Are you in any after-school clubs? When he wasn't pulling the conversation away from troubling topics, John actually found himself enjoying their talk. Or maybe he was just happy to be talking to someone and actually managing to pay attention to the conversation. He finished every bite of lunch without thinking about it. Given the way she stared at the last crumbs while he finished them, that was probably a good thing. Especially since every single crumb was laced with aphrodisiac. Too late it occurred to him that she might have tampered with the lunch. Yet as she stared at him, so pleased that he had enjoyed it, John couldn't believe that she would do anything bad to him. Ha ha ha! As soon as he had that thought, he remembered the tree and shivered involuntarily. After school, John had barely gone to the door when he spotted Lizzie following him. It seemed as though she was stalking him at first, but when he made eye contact, she gave him a sweet smile and skipped forward. At some point, the Mario bouncing noise was made. John, let's walk home together. Do we live in the same direction? No, but don't worry. I'll walk back to my house later. Which meant she did know where he lived. He really needed to be more cautious. Maybe we could do something else. You remember our promise? Yes. Getting medicine and therapy has really helped me a lot. I hope it will help you too. Now, I think the easiest thing to do would be to take you to Miss Smith. She could... No! No, I hate her. She's awful and she wants to take you away from me. Wait a second now. That's not true. She just wants to help. John is too nice. He can't see what kind of person she is. I have to protect him. Whoa, Lizzie, wait. Calm down. If you don't want to talk to Miss Smith, we can do something else, alright? Okay. So, probably best not to choose a woman. There had to be a male Koitek pharmacist in town. Maybe one of them could prescribe something. But he wasn't really sure how that worked. He'd been counting on Miss Smith to guide the process, but now he had to figure out himself. Lizzie, I'll need to do a little research first. Is that okay? Okay, I'll follow you. To the ends of the earth, forever and ever. Maybe it'd be easier if I did myself. No, I don't like that idea. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? You can bring another lunch. Okay, see you tomorrow, John. And tonight. And tomorrow. And tonight. As in tomorrow night. He hoped that medication would help her stabilize. After all, she'd be cute if... Why exactly was he doing this? He had told himself it was to help her make sure no one got hurt, but now he was hoping she'd become normal and stay with him. Pathetic. He couldn't get a girlfriend normally, and so he had to take advantage of some poor girl's obsession. For now, it didn't matter. She really did need help, and he might be able to get to her to it. It was just a question of how. The best way was probably to ask for advice, either from Miss Smith or a pharmacist. He could try to research some himself, though he doubted he'd do any good at it, and he supposed it wouldn't hurt to ask her if she was taking anything else or had allergies or something. Damn it, he should have done that earlier. Now it's too late to... John realized that she was still following him. He shouldn't have been surprised. Okay, so asking her was still an option. Oh boy. He only had so much time before he had to go home and do his schoolwork, so you need to choose carefully. Gotta make a save, cause we're gonna make terrible life choices, even more terrible than going to 5 Nights at Freddyville. Talk to Miss Smith, talk to pharmacists, research in the library, talk to Lizzie, or just go home early and die. Let's talk to Lizzie, while we're on this roller coaster of choices that I have chosen. Me. John walked along the street until he was sure that Lizzie was slinking after him, then turned and waved to her. She waved back. Hi, John. Did you change your mind? Can we all go home together? I need you. No, I just want to check with you. Are you taking any medication right now? Have you had any bad reactions in the past? Oh, no. I've never taken anything. My mother always took too many drugs. It scared me when I was little. I see. Are you sure you're really alright taking medication now, then? Ah, John is so considerate. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I see you take your medicine every day to try to get better. I want to be like you. Okay, good. I hope it will help. I'll take anything you give me, John. Sounded a little suggestive. Stepping out into the street, John glanced at his watch and decided he had some more time to research his options. Maybe research in the library. I'm worried if I talk to Miss Smith, something bad is gonna happen. Something I don't want to happen anyway. There's degrees of badness. There's entertaining badness, and then there's tragedy. Let's avoid tragedy for right now. Let's talk to the pharmacist. First, we'll make another save. John explored a part of town where he thought he remembered a Koitek pharmacy. It turned out his memory was right. It was staffed by a male pharmacist. The middle-aged man gave him a perfunctory nod and listened patiently enough as John described Lizzie's symptoms without mentioning her directly. I'd recommend Paxatine or Sorozin, either one could... No, that's not enough. Excuse me, young man, I don't think... I'm on Paxatine. This isn't that simple of a problem. I'm worried she might hurt someone. I see. Is there something you should tell me, young man? No, I just want to help. I wish someone had made me go get some help earlier, and I want to be that person for her. If the condition is serious, I do have 2 suggestions. You need a blood test to prescribe everyone, though. What do you suggest? Either nalazine or Yandere. Nalazine is a bit if the problem is mental. Yandere if the problem is emotional. Unfortunately, it was probably both. Thanks for letting me know about those. I'll see if I can't convince her. Not many people your age would go to so much trouble for a classmate. You're a good kid. Strangely, the man's words actually made John feel better. Maybe he really was doing the right thing with all this. It was getting late and John realized he needed to get home quickly if he wanted to have his time for his homework. On his way back, he was sure that Lizzie was following him, but he couldn't get a good clear look at her. Clearly someone trained with Solid Snake. At least it was only one more day until the weekend. Friday passed faster than John had expected. Lizzie was nearby at all times, and they ate lunch together. But things were almost normal, except for Lizzie. Almost. Just when he started to get comfortable, she would give a giggle that went on a little too long, or slide a hand toward where she hid her knife. She still has that thing? Or respond far more enthusiastically than she should. Oh, John, I just love it when you talk about video games, especially Toho. It's so fascinating describing all the different hats that Tohos wear, and how some don't wear hats. Tell me more about Toho. Yep, the perfect relationship. Was it bad for them to think she was really cute despite all that? She could be nice if she wasn't so, well... But John hated when his friend suggested he could be fun if he wasn't depressed, and that thought left an ugly knot in his stomach. But it wasn't long now. Maybe she could get some real help. He made it through his last class, almost slept through his session with Miss Smith, then headed home. Oh god, she's gonna be in the window. It's gonna be like Slender Man. John finished his homework and chores as fast as he could and went to sleep. Going out in public always drained him, and he wanted to have enough energy for the weekend. He woke up too early, eyes greedy and head still mired in half-remembered dreams. John got up to get a drink and happened to glance out the window. Oh no! Lizzie was staying outside his house with a huge smile on her face. After staring at her for a moment, John groaned and went back to bed, completely normal. Let me just ignore the problem. The second time he woke up, the sun had already risen. He felt a little better, but not much. Normally we'd stay home all weekend, but he couldn't do that if he wanted to help Lizzie. She was still- wait, what? She was still standing outside his house, in exactly the same place with exactly the same cheerful expression. John brushed his teeth, got dressed, combed his hair, and he realized that he was acting like he was getting ready for a date. True, he had sort of accepted her confession. John decided that was just what he had to deal with now if he wanted to have a connection with her. Well, at least he was going to go out with a cute girl. He hadn't done that since middle school, and those were childish relationships. Of course, this was the only way he could get a date. Pathetic. Oh, you got a new outfit. Okay, so you at least change your clothes. Then again, you could just be taking your jacket off. Finishing his preparations, John headed outside. He hadn't noticed from his house, but Lizzie had gone dressed up for vacation. He'd never seen her outside her school uniform, and it made him hesitate for a moment. She'd obviously put effort to make herself look good, and she did. It would have been nice if not for how it made him worry about the level of importance she was attaching to the day. As soon as Lizzie saw him, her smile became even brighter than it had been while waiting. John, I'm ready. Good morning, Lizzie. Did you sleep all right? Oh, I didn't sleep. Let's go. Well, I mean, that's an answer. She practically dragged him down the street, apparently heading for the bus station. Instead of looking forward, her gaze was fixed behind her on him. Do you have a plan, John? This is our first date. It needs to be perfect. Shit. She hadn't known she'd treat it this way. It wasn't like he hadn't had enough time. He used to be good at planning. What was wrong with him? Other than clinical depression. God, he was such a mess, John said to himself. Alright, he had to think. He used to be able to think on his feet. He could do this. So, I want to deal with the medication issue first, the rest they can be fun, right? Sure, whatever you want. If we get a blood test, we'll need to wait a while. I was thinking we could get the test first, and then eat breakfast, then get the results. That should give us the rest of the day. That's such a great plan. Let's hurry. John was glad to hear her respond so happily. I wonder if she would have said that no matter what he told her. They took a bus across town to the furthest pharmacy and ordered a standard Cortex sampling. He'd been nervous that Lizzie might react poorly to the needle, but she just smiled sweetly at him while he took a bit of her blood, then hopped back up. Look, the Band-Aid has little kitties on it. It's so cute. Meow, meow. You want to eat something now, then? Yes. They walked to a nearby bakery and bought them a pair of pastries. While the only advantages of his workaholic father was that at least he had a decent amount of spending money. Lizzie held hers in both hands and began cheerfully nibbling on the end of it. She stared at him while she was doing it, but otherwise she looked ordinarily cute instead of scarily cute. Like a hamster. A hamster that'll murder you later. Nom 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 nom. I didn't know you could act silly. I don't hear you laugh very often. You usually look so sad, and that makes me sad too. And like that, his good mood crumbled. I know. I'm always ruining everything. I don't know why anyone else steers near me when I just... No! Lizzie took his pastry and stuffed it in his mouth to shut him up. You're not depressing at all, John. Just being around you makes me feel warm inside. I just want to see you smile more. When you smile, I feel like maybe everything will be alright. His attempt to talk around the pastry made Lizzie giggle, which made him laugh, which just set off a vicious cycle. After a fit of coughing, he had lost his half of his pastry, but regained his good mood. It had been a long time since an emotional downturn had since him spiraling toward depression. Lizzie grinned at him and he smiled back at her. All at once, he felt guilty for trying to convince her to take medication. Who was he to tell her what to do? Worse, was he manipulating her reception like this? It was only to help her, but that didn't make it any better. The thoughts troubled him. They remained in the back of his mind as they finished eating, talking lightly. But then they were finished. It had been a while since the test, it was time to go back. Let's go get the results, okay? Well, will John think differently about me? No! Of course not. I just want to find a way to help you, okay? Okay. She answered cheerfully, but something in the lightheartedness they had shared was gone, and it wasn't coming back. Swallowing, John steeled himself and walked with her back to the pharmacy. Lizzie slowed near the entrance and shuffled backward. I'll stay here. You bring me what I need, okay? Okay, no problem. Inside, he found the pharmacist writing something on a clipboard. When he spotted John, he immediately frowned. You're alone. I suppose that's for the best anyway. We need to talk. Is something wrong? She's not sick, is she? No, she's completely normal. It isn't that kind of test. It only takes a snapshot of a person's current condition. Is your friend going through a difficult time right now? Well, I mean, maybe a little. These are some extraordinary numbers. Most people only see these briefly, during the worst days of their lives. Take care of it until things pass, alright? What are you even testing? Okay. There's something else I have to ask. It won't be comfortable, but it's necessary. Have you ever gotten any sense that she might hurt herself or anyone else? No, I can't imagine her doing anything like that. John said, while crossing his fingers. The lie was out of his mouth before he had even consciously decided to lie. John regretted it immediately. Yet now it was too late to contradict himself. The pharmacist grunted and looked over his papers. Well, keep a close eye on her. Even the gentlest person could be capable of violence under conditions like these. Is it really that bad? I thought she seemed bad lately. No, there must be some recent traumas she hasn't told you about. I'm certain of it. I mean, some of these numbers like these regularly. They would be completely uncurable, insane, probably, and definitely a threat to society. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything. I'm sure she'll work through things and go back to normal soon. So, can you prescribe anything? I can give you 2 weeks of either Yandere or nalazine. That should get her over the rough patch. Just 2 weeks. Can't you prescribe more? Not without a much more extensive evaluation, but like I said, that's all you need. I'm sure she'll recover soon. I really should be asking her directly, but in her present condition, I think it'd be safer to bend the rules and let you out like a family member. So, which one do you think would be best for her? So I'm trying to remember which one did what. I think Yandere, they said, was mental. And the other one was... emotional? Let me zoom... Well, we're zooming way too back. I might go with the nalazine, I guess. 2 weeks of nalazine coming up. Try to help her rest, okay? Yeah, okay. Heading outside, John handed the bag to Lizzie. He had pushed pretty hard to get to this point. He would never force her to take the medication. His father had used to talk like he didn't have a choice about depression medication, practically threatened to force feed him. John refused to do that to anyone else. But Lizzie didn't make an issue of it at all. Smiling at him, she opened the bag. She got one of the pills and swallowed without even taking a drink. She'd given the label a careful look, though. Okay. I hope you can love me now, John. Well! Yes? Lizzie, no, I never meant anything like that. Please don't... That didn't taste bad at all. So can we go on with our date now, John? Can we? He wanted to go back to what she had said, reassured that he meant nothing wrong by it, but his words stuck in his mouth. Maybe on some level he did mean to force her. Maybe he was repeating everything that had been done to him. But with Lizzie smiling at him like that, he couldn't fall too far into depression. Instead, John smiled back and gestured for her to follow. Without any great ideas, John thought they should go to the park. The town had a pretty nice park, and it was usually empty this time of day. His friends always said that a movie was the best first date, but he suspected they mostly wanted to try to cop a feel. Besides, he was worried Lizzie would end up watching him instead of the movie. You're the most interesting movie, John. I especially like the part where you just sit there. It's such an exciting part. Don't you love that part too? John? In the park, Lizzie happily skipped along the paths, often looking back to him, but at least looking along the other things. As he watched, he realized that she was definitely calmer than usual. Her sweet cheerfulness seemed natural, not manic, and she even smiled at people that passed him sometimes. Could it really be the nalazine? With him, the Paxton had taken weeks to work, and whether or not it actually helped him really didn't cure. Then again, Lizzie was her own case. Of course, it took more than drugs to cure a serious condition. He knew that all too well. As Miss Smith had said, therapy was also an important component of recovery. Hers had certainly helped him a lot. The third main component was a social support network, and there he could believe he'll take her advice. He still spent most of his time alone and meaningless old relationships. But hey, now he's walking in park with a girl his age. Maybe things were looking up. And for once in his life, things went his way. Lizzie was happy to eat fast food for lunch and didn't even try to feed him anything. Afterward, he was putting out plans and Lizzie didn't want to stop. Fortunately, she was happy to drag him around town to see random things. In a way, he was grateful for that. He spent all his energy for making decisions during the morning, and it was easy just to glide along in her wake. In that way, she was a good match for him. When the sun started setting, John was actually surprised. The day really passed by that quickly. He could barely drag himself through a lot of weekends. This was a welcome change. Holy shit, is that John? With a girl? Hey, guys. Is that the crazy chick you told me about? Oh yeah, that's definitely her. Are you that desperate, John? I'm so weirded out we ever called these people friends. Can't have so much of a sad sack he's been lately. I'm pretty sure he is. Do any of you have girlfriends? Oh. You guys talk so much shit. Just leave Lizzie out of it, okay? Oh, fuck you, John. So was it crazy you could never get a girl as cute as her? She is pretty hot. I don't get why she's with you. Maybe you guys, because you guys insulted her. Yeah, this really doesn't make any sense. Oh, John, you're gonna cry. Bernard, realize how pathetic you are. His positive mood was completely gone. He knew he should check to see how Lizzie was taking the mocking, but it was the most he could do not to fall into admire of self-hatred. As always, he felt like he should be stronger than this, less emotionally fragile, and that just added to his self-hatred. If it had been anyone else, he might have crashed completely, but he knew these guys, and he was at least familiar with their attitudes. John pulled himself together and faked a smile at them. No, you don't fake a smile, you punch him. Come on, punch him. Solve it with violence. Sounds like sour grapes to me. You'll have fun with each other, okay? Come on, Lizzie, let's get out of here. His classmates just scoffed. John could start taking Lizzie's hand and pulling her away. They're worried how she would react. And after a moment of hesitation, it was too late. Oh no! Listen here, you piece of... Without warning, Lizzie stepped past John and directly into his classmates' faces. He caught a glimpse of her, and she seemed strangely focused. Then he could see only the back of her head. John is a good person. Holy shit, she's practically helping you. You shouldn't say unkind things about good people. Her voice sounded sweet, but his classmates took several steps backward. John was suddenly very grateful that he couldn't see her face. I've had a nice day today. I hope you all have a nice day too. Fuck this! We're out! They scrambled just barely slow enough that they weren't running away. Lizzie stayed exactly where she had been standing, entirely still. John wanted to say something, but his mouth was too dry. Let's keep going, okay? John? Sure. But they hadn't gone far before John realized that he couldn't follow up on that. He had pulled himself together long enough to walk away, but now he had nothing left. It was all too much. He wasn't usually outside in the public this much, and though being with Lizzie wasn't bad, he wasn't stable enough for this much interaction. John? Are you okay? I'm tired. I think I need to go home. Is something wrong? Did I do something wrong? I could hear the tremor in her voice. Knew she needed affirmation. But the apathy was choking him to death. He had no energy for anyone else, no energy for anything but getting back home, curling up and wishing he was dead. Somehow he said goodbye, found the bus and got all the way back home. The events passed like he was suffocating in gauze, the world around him too unreal to have any effect. Maybe he should have reassured Lizzie, but it didn't matter. He was an idiot for thinking he could help her. Nothing he did mattered. Sunday was a miserable slog for every second. John gave up on accomplishing anything whatsoever and just lay in bed feeling worse about himself. He fell asleep early and woke up early in the morning, not feeling better. That was impossible after a day wallowing in himself, but suddenly his energy was back. And he needed it, because he hadn't accomplished anything he needed to do over the weekend. He set to working feverishly on Monday's homework. By the time he needed to go to school, his eyes were gritty and his good mood was gone. But he was ready, high-functioning. John sighed and headed to school. Lizzie, how far along have you been there? He hadn't gone very far before, without warning, Lizzie was walking beside him. Good morning, John. Morning. Are you alright, Lizzie? I've spent yesterday thinking. I've come to some conclusions. So, what did you conclude? For such a long time, the most I could imagine was being near you, talking to you, but now I see it's not enough. You have to be protected. I have to do it. Lizzie, what they said to you, it made me so angry. I wanted to kill them, then you'd be safe. Wait, you didn't. No, I didn't. Because you had to be protected from me, too. What? Since I took the medicine, I see things differently. I don't like it, but I understand better now. I don't want you to be afraid of me, John. I'll protect you, no matter what. She seemed sad, but so sincere. What was he supposed to say to something like that? You don't need to say anything. Don't worry. Please don't worry. I'll protect you. That's all I can do. I had a really good time on Saturday. I mean it. I'm glad to see you happy too. John is so kind. Too kind. I'll see you later. Can't tell if that was a positive meaning or a negative one. She rushed away too quickly, leaving John completely uncertain what to think. In some ways, she seemed more stable, yet that wasn't a complete comfort. Lizzie was still carrying her knife. On Tuesday, John and Lizzie ate lunch together as if everything was normal, and in some bizarre way it really was. Perhaps due to the medication, she seemed so much more stable than before. She was sweet and kind at all times, always considerate and affectionate. Yet there was an occasional moment we saw hints of something feral in her eyes, worried about what she would be capable of if she thought it was necessary. But all in all, John was happier than he had been in a long time. His classmates even stopped messing with him about Lizzie, though he wasn't sure if that was because she seemed normal or because they were afraid of her. Yet he wasn't. Not really. He had a hard time believing that anyone could really love him. He had seen that Lizzie truly did. If anything, he worried that he could never love her back that intensely. He had an appointment scheduled with Miss Smith on Wednesday. Yet for once when he walked into her office, he didn't feel like he desperately needed it. Ready for your session today, John? Actually, I'm feeling really good. Maybe we should skip today's. You should know better than that. If you stop the treatment that's making you feel better, you might have another relapse. No, you're right. Sorry. Don't be sorry. Just lie down and take a load off. So, how have you been doing lately? Well, I'm okay, I guess. That's better than most weeks, so it looks like you're making progress. By the way, I've seen you pass with a girl. Are you two dating? Oh boy, that's a lot of options. Yes, we're dating. That's probably good for you. You need more relationships. But I have to ask, have the two of you been intimate? What? How can you ask that? I'm not teasing you. This is a very serious question. You better not be leaving me up to giving me a lecture about safe sex or abstinence or anything. So should I take that as a no? Yes, I mean no. We haven't done anything like that. Although I'm sure she wants to. It's good to hear that you're at least expressing interest. Koitek got back to me about estrogen, and it's still that good for viability, so we don't have any solid option for libido issues. Can we talk about anything else? Anything else? Sorry to make you uncomfortable, John, but I do need to be concerned about your welfare in all respects. To that end, I need to ask one more question. Has the girl ever displayed any strange behavior? Erratic tendencies? Make it another save, because there's a lot of choices. I don't know which one's gonna be bad. Laugh for much save. I can't think of anything. She's a little shy, maybe, that's all. Oh good, I'm glad to hear it. I'm not being rude, John, this is important. You see, I looked up that girl's records, and to my surprise, I actually knew her mother. You knew Lizzie's mother? Well, she did say she was taking pills. Yes, Henry Dawes took part in one of our early clinical trials. She was one of the women who had to be removed from the study when we learned that they had lied about being pregnant at the time. Plus, I thought she'd displayed addictive tendencies. I understand she began abusing prescription painkillers later in life, too. The poor girl probably had a hard childhood. So anyway, I just hope that girl turned out alright. Any drugs taken while someone is in utero can have permanent long-term impacts, so I'm glad that girl turned out normal. Moving on, you seem so much better. I assume the issue of emotional grayness took care of itself. No, things are still grey. Yeah, of course. It seemed so positive, and he couldn't bring himself to tell her the truth, because despite the general improvements in his life, that aspect of it had not. Lizzie was a single spot of color in his world, see, I told you. But the rest was even grayer than before. That's why she wears a gray suit, by the way. Look, it's gray, and it's red. Crimson gray! Her suit's the title drop! Oh no, what does that mean? The rest of the session passed in a gray blur. When it was over, John was in a strange mood. He felt a little better, but not much. Usually after a therapy session, he floated in empty tranquility, but now his mind was racing. He impatiently sat for his next class, but his mind was on what Miss Smith had said about Lizzie's mother. Could that be part of the reason for her instability? When he had a free period, John headed straight to the library and tried to look up past incidents. It was hard to find information on Koitek's older trials, but when he eventually gave in and looked at the microfilm, he actually found some relevant articles. He knew that Lizzie had been born in 1972, so he able to skim back to around the time she had been born. He actually found the birth announcement in the local paper easily, but for the rest he was left searching aimlessly for shitty local articles. And then all at once it was easy. It was a series of articles that took his research from a boring whim to something that had him on the edge of his seat. Apparently before it was called Koitek, the company had been known as Pharmavax. They'd been rebranded after a series of drug recalls had ruined their reputation. John sat back, unable to read any further. Was that really the explanation? It felt so cheap. It was easy to presume that Lizzie's mother had been involved in one of the recalled Pharmavax trials, and her unborn child must have suffered the consequences. Could that really have unbalanced Lizzie this way? If so, that meant this was no phase she was going through. If her early development had been altered, she was probably this way for life. Yet the second emotion he felt was anger. Anger that Miss Smith or anyone else could think Lizzie was just some freak chemical accident. Maybe that we should have taken the other pills. Because those were mental. They said it was in the head. Anyways, that's how they described it. It was too much like the scorn that had been heaped on him for his depression. Whatever her problems, Lizzie was a person who deserved respect. Help, but respect before anything else. The pressure quickly followed on the heels of his anger. Unable to deal with any more of those thoughts, John just walked out without even placing the microfilm. He drifted for the rest of the day, still stewing over what he learned. At times, he could almost convince himself that this was a good thing. If drugs had unbalanced Lizzie, maybe they could unbalance her again. He could almost imagine them together, helping each other, maybe even getting married. When she passed him in the hallway, her eyes lit up. Not a mere elation, but with a burning intensity. And in that moment, John was sure that Lizzie couldn't be cured. The question was, did he want her to be? What? Several days later, as they were leaving after school, Lizzie caught up with him with an odd look on her face. John, I'm so happy. Really? I spent so long just watching you, imagining what it'd be like to say hello, to hear you say my name, for you to look at me. That we can actually talk like this. It's like a dream. A wonderful dream I never want to end. I'm happy I met you too, Lizzie. This past week has been fun. So, how is Nilazine working out for you? No unpleasant side effects. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for giving it to me. Well, I hope we can find some more once this toast runs out. Some drugs you can renew week to week, but I don't know about this one. It could be a pain. Oh no, I wouldn't want you going in trouble for me. But it's helping, right? I want you to be able to have more if you want it. That's so sweet, but it's not necessary. It helped me understand our relationship clearly. I don't need it anymore. But John, we've been dating since you accepted my confession. But we've only done normal things. I love being with you. Every single moment. But can we do something more romantic? They might as well. People already thought of them as dating, and she seemed so sweet for so long. What was the worst that could happen? Please. We have a lot of options, considering that we have all next week off. But we don't have to wait that long. How about we plan something for Friday night? I'll have a car pick you up. I could take you to a nice restaurant. Ah, yes. Good then. It's a plan. Friday. Da-da-da-da. She would still have a day or two medication left on Friday. John figured she would stay stable. Maybe the date would leave her happy enough that she'd change her mind about staying on her meds. No matter what mistakes her mother made, maybe Lizzie could be stable with the right treatment. John really thought this could work out between them. Wow, John, this place is so nice. As nice as a place I'll let high school kids in with only a few days reservation, anyway. When I asked for a romantic place, I never dreamed it would be this romantic. I'm not dressed up enough for this. This is the kind of place you take someone to propose. Just so it's clear, I'm not gonna propose. He's totally gonna propose. I know that's silly. I'm just really happy it's so romantic. John could only hope that the place would be nice. All he knew about was that his parents said it was nice back when they were together. They entered and Lizzie was delighted by everything. The decor, the menu, the lighting, the food. Or maybe she was really just delighted with one thing. The event itself. Fortunately, the staff seemed to find her adorable instead of disturbing. Thank God! So John found himself relaxing. Even when they were just chatting idly, Lizzie was nice to be around. Midway through the meal, he realized that Lizzie was resting her hand on the table. He wasn't necessarily inviting it, but if he stretched, he thought he could put his hand on top of hers. Let me just make more saves, cause we're going in. Take her hand. Lizzie's eyes went wide when he touched her, for a moment just staring as if she couldn't believe it. But after a moment, she gave him a brilliant smile, and laced her fingers through his. I want to protect that smile. Okay, he had meant to do that, but John decided they could just awkwardly hold her hand while they ate. That certainly seemed to be Lizzie's intention. She actually wasn't getting a lot eaten, so she didn't talk with her mouth full and listened rapidly whenever he talked, but at least she seemed to be having fun. After a while, Lizzie patted her mouth with her napkin and sighed in satisfaction. She didn't let go of his hand, though. That was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, it's all really good. Not the food. The date. Oh, but I've made you talk so much. You haven't gone to eat very much. That's okay, Eat! I mean, no, I'll be quiet and watch while you eat. Okay? So, Lizzie, how about you tell me where you live? Oh, it isn't too special. Just a house. Do you live with someone? I know not your parents, but some other relative. No, it's just me. Abby inherited the house, I think, and she didn't manage to sell it off when things got bad. Abby, my mother, she was an awful woman. I don't want to talk about her. It was a nice enough house. It's a nice enough house, I suppose. Abby wrecked a lot of it, but not being able to repair with money from James. Your father. I guess. But he never cared enough to meet me. Abby always complained about him, and the checks don't always come. But I don't want to talk about that. It's all horrible, isn't it? People who can't pretend to be in love just to tear into each other. That's not what I want. Not at all. When I fell in love with you, I knew it would last forever. Would it be nice for us to get a house together? Or maybe even build one? Oh, so many choices. I can't decide. But I want it to be something we choose together, not something we inherit. Some place where we want to live together forever. Maybe a big house, big enough that can have lots of nice windows, but also rooms inside where no one can see us. Huh. Maybe a fountain. Lizzie giggled and squirmed in her seat as if she couldn't contain herself. Her fingers in his gripped tightly that it almost hurt. But now I'm just saying things. None of those things really matter. The only thing in our house that I'll care about is you. It was the longest he had yet got talking to her about herself or her goals, and while I was still pretty focused on him, he didn't mind hearing the details. That's a very nice image, Lizzie. I'm glad you think so. And you finished your food. This has been wonderful. But can we go now? Can't we? Only slightly worrying about what she was faking, John paid the bill, trying not to wince, and then they left the restaurant. They got into the bus and Lizzie never let go of his hand the entire time. He began to wonder when she was actually going to let go, and that was when she leaned her head against his shoulder. This feels so nice. Yes, it does. Really? You enjoyed tonight? I did. It's not often that I hear you talk about things you want, other than, me. Even though it indirectly involved me anyway. It felt ridiculous to say that, but like some kind of boast. And a second later he realized that it might just be exacerbating her problem, or at least making light of it. But Lizzie just considered his words thoughtfully, then gave a slow nod. I've always wanted to know everything about you, John. I'm glad you want to know about me. John, would you like me less if I stopped taking the medicine? Shut! What was he supposed to say to that? John desperately racked his brain for a good answer. I like you, Lizzie. I like the person you really are. Is the person you are now the person you really are? Whoa, that's a tricky answer. That was a politician answer right there. What do you mean? I mean, when I get depressed, I don't feel like myself. Medicine might change me, but it's just to change me back to myself. But it's not who you naturally are. Does that matter? I mean, we get to choose who we are. Otherwise, we're not really people. Just animals. So, who are you, Lizzie? You seem like a nice person, now that I've gotten to know you. This is not who you want to be. Did you feel better before taking medicine? But you liked me tonight. That was wonderful. But I'm not suggesting I didn't like you before. Silly John, don't worry about it. I love you no matter what. Now, would you like to see my house? John froze, not sure how to take the question. Then again, Lizzie had already seen his house. Maybe she just wanted to open up. Her house. He said he'd like to hear her talk about herself after all. If she was actually offering to let him into her life a little more, it would be stupid of him to turn it down. Sure, Lizzie, I'd love to see it. Oh, I'm sure you will. Absolutely sure. He'd planned to take her to her stop just to be gentlemanly, but now John found himself getting off at the same place. Lizzie eagerly sat from the bus stop looking back to make sure that he was following. Not sure if good situation or not. In the end, she led him to a small house. It was a cozy little thing, much warmer and more pleasant than he expected. Here it is. Huh. It's cozy. You don't need to flower my house, silly. All that matters is that we'll be there. She led him inside and showed him around. It was a very strange and erratic tour. He wondered if this was the first time she'd ever showed someone inside her home. The inside of the house was less cozy than the outside, and no dead bodies yet. Not because of the house itself, but because of how bare it was. A few rooms looked as though they'd been used, but the rest looked like they were out of catalog. It mimicked a house, but didn't look like a place where anyone lived. The only thing that didn't match the catalog image was a heavy metal door off a side hallway. Lizzie didn't make the slightest reference to it or even seem to notice it existed. This picture. Is it your mother? Oh, that. I forgot I even had that. We just throw it away. Lizzie didn't seem to care, but John was curious enough to pick up the frame and look closer. He was surprised to find his hand immediately coated in dust. There had to be years of dust. How could Lizzie have lived here so long and never even disturbed a picture sitting on a table like this? In any case, he could see where Lizzie got her good looks from. But other than that, she and her mother didn't look very much alike. There was something in Lizzie's eyes and posture that was just lacking in her mother. She was on the beach with some man. Neither of them looked like they were enjoying themselves. Maybe he was imagining things, but he could practically see the growing enmity in between them. Absurdly, his mood began to decline. It was just a random relationship from people he didn't know. It had nothing to do with him, yet the idea of people producing a child from a relationship they obviously cared so little about sent him into a spiral. John, you shouldn't be sad. Our house wouldn't have had anything like this in it. No, I was just, Don't worry. I want to be around you every second of every day forever. But I know that wouldn't work when we grow up. I can get a job. I'm good at a lot of things. It was sad being apart, but we can call each other at work and send each other things. And when we get home and see each other again after so long, it will feel so good. Her picture of the future actually sounded nice. Lifted a little of a cloud in his head. But he couldn't find a way to put that into words, so he said nothing. Undeterred, Lizzie encouraged him into the living room and pushed him down to the large couch. It hadn't seen much use, but it was free from dust and gloriously soft. Pumph. You stay here, okay? Give me a moment and change out this. John swallowed and stayed where he was. He He didn't have a lot of experience, but he heard his friends talk about their exploits. He thought a lot of it was lies, but was there something to what they said? If Lizzie really came out wearing lingerie or something else crazy, he didn't know what he would do. He honestly didn't. Part of him that had been asleep for so long time liked that idea. Fantasized about what might happen. Another part of him was incredibly nervous to even consider the idea of being closer to her. He couldn't keep sitting there. His nerves would destroy him. Instead, John got up and began to look around the house more carefully. The dustiest part of the house seemed to have remembrance of Lizzie's mother. At least he didn't think Lizzie would be into cheap low-glass figurines. Opening one of the rooms, he discovered that it was an unused bedroom. He was about to go when he spotted another picture frame sitting beside the bed. This one featured Lizzie as a child, sitting on her mother's lap. It struck him so strongly that he immediately went to look at it more carefully, not caring that his hand got even dustier. Lizzie's mother was glowing and obviously proud of her daughter, while Lizzie ignored her entirely. No, not just ignored her. It was a flat emptiness to her eyes, as if they weren't even related. It didn't seem to stop her mother in the picture, but the distance between them was agonizing. Why would anyone keep a picture like that, much less frame it? John stared at it a little while longer, then sat down and left the room. The look Lizzie had been giving her mother, those eyes shouldn't have belonged to a human child. John didn't want to think about it a second longer, so he rushed out of the room as fast as he could. Desperate for something to take his mind off that unpleasant thought, John looked around for anything else. The door next to the bedroom was jammed, but he wrenched it open, please no bodies, and stared. Oh! His room was filled with pictures of him. So it's close enough to a dead body. His yearbook photos, but also lots of pictures of him in class. Pictures he must have taken herself. Oh, fool! Those pictures of him sleeping in his own bed. For a moment he just stood there, trembling. Then John snapped back to his senses. He immediately stepped back and closed the door, trying not to make a sound. He told himself he shouldn't be so surprised. He knew she was obsessed, but still shook him. He was inside his stalker's house. John? Yes! I just wandered off. I'm coming back. Good. There's something I want to show you. It better be lingerie to take me off all these horrible thoughts. Ah! That was a legit scare. I was a little surprised. I was hoping for lingerie. She's gonna bring it out. It's gonna be like that Simpsons skit. Where it's like, hey, John. And she swings it, and she chops like a piece of wood. And it's just like, I thought it'd be nice to have the fireplace going. So, you know, I just had to show you my cool axe and chop some wood next to you. John? Oh! What do you do with that axe? You don't trust me, John. That makes me so sad. You think I'm going to trust you when you're coming out with an axe? Exactly. I try to be patient. I can't wait any longer. Yeah, that's a little too close. That's a very fancy axe, by the way. So, I need to take matters in my own hands. Hold still, John. Well, it was nice knowing you all. I'll play a little tune. Should we beg, stand firm, or run? Maybe if we stand firm, it'll kind of be like the T-Rex, and she won't notice us. John did his best to stay in place, afraid that running would make her chase him. But as she got closer, she scraped the axe on the wall and gave him a smile that would be anything but sweet. Maybe this was a bad idea. This won't hurt very much. And then things will be better. Trust me. I should have probably just ran for my life. We'll stick to it. We'll trust her. Well, the raptor can't see us. I mean, the T-Rex can't see us. If we don't move. Swallowing, John stayed where he was. Lizzie got even closer, her smile widening, and then her other hand came up. Instead of a weapon, it held a dark rag. It was over his mouth and nose before he could react. Stunned, John only struggled instinctually. Then the chemical fumes overwhelmed him.